set up. Wow.
Oh dear. Right, I'm gonna start because
Here goes nothing.
So what I'll do is there'll basically be a lot of content at the beginning, and then we'll just like run through some of the VODs. Go away, Swiftful. We'll run through some of the VODs and just kind of like talk about some of the stuff that we're gonna introduce. So the first thing we want to do, I mean, it's not particularly the best VOD to look at because it's not a mirror match, but whatever, the same things kind of apply. What we're going to do is kind of like talk about how you want to break down this kind of Brawl mirror. And then also we'll talk about ults as well, because that's a huge part of this, which will kind of like link into tempo. Right. So the first thing we want to do. So we're just going to assume for the time being that they're running mirror. Okay. So right now, who do you want to like kill primarily on their team?
Either the Reinhardt or the main support.
Main support?
I mean, main heal.
Right, yeah.
Like a
so
BAP or something.
BAP, Ryan, and then there's someone else as well.
I mean, if you can demech the D.Va, that would be amazing.
Yeah, D.Va's not one just because of cooldowns.
The
She's-
May, right? For the
Yeah.
wall?
Again, May's kind of
the
difficult as
crew.
well because of cooldowns. It's actually this one.
Ah.
So Cass. So you notice with all of these, they basically just don't have movement abilities. All the rest, or basically, she has fuck you, I'm invincible abilities. He does a
Doesn't
little
Bap
bit.
have fuck you, I'm invincible?
Yeah,
Just
but if
hold
he's
on.
using it on
I'm moving.
himself, if he's using it
And
on
then
himself, that's
inside.
good value for you.
Yeah, the BAP ability is a bit more valuable.
Yeah. So these are your three, right? But how do you get to the BAP and the Cass? Because like in the Brawl matchup, your poke's not particularly great, so the chance of you know, like poke in and get a pick on like the Cass and the BAP is very, very low. They'd have to be playing very, very badly for that to happen, right? So how do you enable yourself to be able to basically kill their squishies? The BAP primarily. How does that happen?
Ability usage. May walls split their team.
So just in terms of target priority, what's your first target right now?
Reinhardt.
Yeah. So Ryan is your first target. Why? Because he's basically the gateway to the rest of the team. He's basically the one hero that's preventing you from killing the rest of the team, right? Once the Ryan dies, it should be a lot easier for you guys to then, you know, get picks on the rest of the team. However, how are you going to pick the Reinhardt? What's the target you need to shoot primarily to get at the Reinhardt? What's the gateway to the Rhine?
With a May wall.
No, because you're not going to shoot the middle.
No. Like, you need to force out the lamp if it gets used and the D.Va. Because
Okay,
the D.Va's going to be matrixing the Reinhardt.
So don't worry about cooldowns for the time being, because we'll talk about that a bit later. It's just in terms of target priority.
I mean, you hold the Reinhardt and you shoot him.
Okay, so I kind of like this right now, because you're all very narrow-minded thinking about which hero should we shoot, and it's not a hero, it's his fucking shield.
A shield.
Yeah. Okay, so you win the shield battle, you will win the fight. On paper, okay? That doesn't account for individual mistakes. But on paper, you win the shield battle in a Brawl v Brawl matchup, you will win. Okay, because basically the shield is the thing that's preventing you killing the Rhine. Even if you wall the Reinhardt, you know, he can still shield, and you know it's kind of difficult to freeze the Rhine and blah blah blah. You have to take angles, and then gives your team time to come in, like his team to come in and help him out. You know, it's not as cut and dry as just simply wall the Reinhardt, kill him. You know, there are ways around it, but if the Rhine has no shield, it becomes infinitely harder for him to stay alive, right? And then they're on limited resources. So D.Va, DM is fucking amazing, but it's a limited resource. And then goes into what Fabio was talking about earlier, is that once the shield's down as well, you're going to start seeing cooldowns coming out of them because they're going to panic and they're going to need to react because otherwise they just lose their Reinhardt, right? So in terms of target priority, shield, pressure the shield as much as possible, then Rhine, and then your squishy. So normally BAP, then Cass. But it's, again, this is on paper. If the Cass is more accessible than the BAP in the situation, go for him. I'm not going to tell you otherwise, right? So that's kind of like the foundation. That's the standing point that we need to understand. This is how we open up the fights, right? Just with target priority. So we're not even talking about cooldowns, not even talking about ults. We're literally just talking, what should we shoot first? And that's how you open up fights. So let's go into ulting right now, because ulting is a very, very big part of this comp, and it's going to involve a lot of like tempo understanding. So what ult do you want to use first? So I'm hoping that you guys in Empire, you actually know this already because I kind of walked you through it in this scrim.
Window, BAP window.
Yeah, so Window's your first ult. But why? Do you remember why that's the first one?
Build other ults.
Yeah, so you can build other ults off Window, which can then enable you to, carry on the fight, blah, 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 set up for your next fights, that sort of stuff, right? So BAP is your number one. What was your second one?
May freeze.
Yeah, so Blizzard, number two.
Yes.
Oh, someone's in just chatting.
Yeah, Tom is our teammate. Can someone drag him down, please?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you. He's late as always.
Oh, hi, Jess.
Hi, I'm just wondering what's happening.
How about you?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ryan.
Right. So yeah, Window, then Blizzard. What's next? This is where it gets a little bit tricky. So
The Rhine Shatter.
nope.
No, wait. What? I kind of got phased out. What are we talking about? Ults?
Yeah, so we're talking about ults right now, and we're kind of trying to make what an on paper ult cycle. Again, I'm going to use on paper, right?
Window May ult.
Yep.
High Noon Shatter.
So
And then I would say a Diva Bomb beat. It really depends. The last two. I would say
Yeah.
actually beat Diva Bomb, but
so it is a little bit of a difficult question because, like you said, it does depend. But on paper, it's kind of a weird one actually. So this is next. Then
yeah.
these two are kind of interchangeable. Okay. So I'm going to put them like together. And Shatter's last. Okay, so why do you think Shatter's last?
Rebuild ult.
Yeah, so you can rebuild ults off Shatter, that's correct, but why else? And it kind of goes into a little bit of like the ult itself here.
Because if the Rhine is swinging, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, so you're vulnerable basically if you use that ult. Plus,
Is the
It's
threat
di-
of shatter?
it's going to be difficult
of
for
it?
you guys in Empire to kind of understand this because basically the skill level of the players it doesn't reflect like the skill level of the players doesn't really reflect like what should actually happen. So like realistically, the Baptiste should never be hit by Shatter. Right. So if we're going off of that principle, same with like the Lucio as well. He should on paper shouldn't really be hit by Shatter, right? So if we're going off that principle, you Shatter, the Bap can just lamp or the Lucio can just beat, right? And then you'll Shatter, you'll walk forward and then they'll react to it and then suddenly you're in kind of like a dangerous situation right now. So you have to use other ults to kind of win off Shatter. It's very unlikely that you're just going to win off Shatter by itself. So shattering on paper can sometimes lead to slightly dangerous situations. So when you're making fight plans, if you want to use shatter in your fight plan, you normally have to add something else into it. So that could be like bomb shatter, for example, or you have to consider what they will do. So, you know, will shatter, watch for the lamp, blah, 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 you know, this kind of stuff, right? So going through that cycle, right? Because if you just say, okay, we're going to shatter this fight, you might find yourself in a situation which you didn't expect to be in. Now, like I said, for you guys in Empire, it doesn't really happen like that, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Which is why we're trying to scrim higher right now so we can put ourselves in a few more situations like that. You know, but as I've always kind of told you guys, play for the rank you want, not the one you have, right? So we want to, on paper, just be assuming that these guys are just like the best players we've ever seen, right? And it's our macro that will carry us in fights, not our fucking not relying on individual mistakes, basically. Right. So we've got like an on paper alt cycle, right? So we can kind of categorize these alts a little bit more as well. So we've already spoke about window, and in that you can use it to build other ultimates, right? So your window is kind of like a feeder to your other alts. So let's just go through them in order. So what about Blizzard?
Ice denial.
What is your intention with that alt when you use it? So we know that with BAP window, it's to build other alts, but then also to like essentially create space, right?
Yeah.
So that's the
Well, it's
intention with
area
BAP window.
denial. It's like similar to Junk Tire or Diva Bomb, right?
In the Brawl v Brawl mirror, not really, actually.
It's more space denying. Like, it's if you get a pick, that's good, but it's not really for picks. It's more for like, okay, we're gonna take over the space. You have to clear it.
Wait, which ult?
Blizzard.
Nailed.
Yeah, or get it in a flanking position where you can actually catch out the back line. So at the same time, you can push in with your own team.
Okay. Clearly, we need to work on some May and Brawl. So
Please don't suggest May flanking to our team. We don't need more of that, please.
the May ult is actually your fight win ult. It's the one ult in your team which is going to guarantee the most picks. It's the one ult in your team that's going to guarantee the fight win most of the time. So generally, if we're using May ult, if we haven't used Wall in combination with it, we've probably done something wrong. So we should be looking to Wall and then May ult. Obviously, we need to pressure Diva Mech as well. This is something you fucking plat guys drive me insane for. You just yeet fucking blizzards into divas all day long. Drives me insane. So yeah, pressure Diva Mech. And also use Wall in conjunction with it so that they can't back out, right? And this is going to lead into a little bit of what we're going to talk about next after this, which is how do we manipulate the space as well to basically enable this, right? So Blizzard is your fight win ult. Beat. Okay, so Lufty, you're the Lucio player here. What's beat?
Oh God. Beat is reactionary, but also to like controlled tempo.
Okay, there we go. That's the key word.
Control
Tempo.
aggression. Yeah.
Tempo. Tempo is the word, right? So beat is your tempo ult. Beat basically dictates how fast or how slow you're going to play that fight, right? So we'll get onto beat as well a little bit later. But basically, as a sort of TLDR, you want to be looking to use beat second primarily. So you 9 times out of 10, again, this is again on paper, so take it with a pinch of salt. But ideally, you want to be beating second because your beat will then have higher uptime than their beat. So basically, if they beat on you, you just S key, back the fuck up, right? Bait them into an area where they can't really run away. Perhaps they've used their amp speed, whatnot, and then you can beat yourself and then W into them. They can't then run away. Their beat's wearing off. You still have your full beat. And then once their beat's worn off, you still have the impact of your beat. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's
I
why
struggle with it in terms of like when I'm trying to save it for Flux or Grav or you know.
Shatter.
Yeah.
You-
So
yeah.
Like how do I balance saving it to save and then you know
it's one of those
using
where
it for tempo?
you should have the intention to use it for tempo, but if you need to use it to save your team, if you think the fight is winnable,
Okay.
if you beat, then just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I find myself often. I know they have shatter, but like either the shatter gets blocked and like the fight is lasting too long, then I can beat and then and end it there, or it's like okay, they're beat engaging, they're going far too aggressive. I'm counter beating so that they have to back off.
You can also win the next fight whenever they know. Whenever you know they beat it, that fight, and you still have it. You can literally win the fight of the beat. You can just go hard aggressive, use only beats, and just win the fight of that. Because they can't counter beat you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that example, again, that's a tempo thing because you know that they can't play at the pace that you can play at if you're in the effect of the beat, right? So yeah, using beat is all about tempo and understanding that. Obviously, you do have the kind of nuances of using it to save your team, but generally that's kind of like a low impact way to use that ult.
Okay.
You know, you're saving your team, but you're basically just delaying something normally. Normally, if you
You're
actually want to
making the
win
fight
that fight,
neutral instead of
yeah. Normally, if you want to win that fight, you have to then use something else. So you'll like beat and then Diva Bomb or Blizzard or whatever, yeah, just so that your team's still alive.
So you'd rather take the L on the Grav or whatever and then go again next fight with beat?
Not necessarily. Again, it's all about situations. It's just about reading the situation, and that just comes from experience. So, like, literally just try shit and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, High Noon and Diva Bomb. Now, they're 4 and 5 because they basically do the same thing. So, what kind of ults are these? What's the purpose of them?
Zoning.
Yeah. So they're basically zonings, sort of space ults. They impact space. So one thing I've been trying to introduce to you guys in Empire is about how do we manipulate space. So we'll go into that in great detail in a second after we spoke about Shatter. But yeah, so basically High Noon and Diva Bomb, those are your ults that you're going to use to basically impact areas of the map. With High Noon, it's sightlines. With Diva Bomb, it's like actual like area of a map, right? And then Shatter, spoke about Shatter a little bit, but basically, you know, it's a risk reward ult. That one, it's boom or bust. You either use it and it either gets blocked, and then you're a little bit fucked because you're slightly vulnerable for a second, or you fucking shatter everything and you just win off that. Again, that is unlikely to happen, but welcome to plat lobbies.
I mean, even in our lobbies, like it works that way. At least for me. I don't know how for other main decks it works. I don't know. I've created like kind of a mind game where most of the time, like last time I got walled off, so I would have died there, like knowing that the Rhine is going to shield because they think I'm dead there already, and I shattered like 4 of them, and we actually won the fight of that. So
Yeah.
it's just playing mind games with the enemy Rhine, like when he thinks you're gonna shatter and when you're actually gonna shatter.
Yeah, and in that instance, there, what you're actually doing is also using Shatter as kind of like a tempo ult as well.
Yeah.
So it's basically they're going aggressive and they're kind of like fucking zoned out at that point because it's like, haha, we just W, and then you're just like, surprise, Shatter.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're all down. So yeah, you can use it like that as a sort of tempo ult as well.
I think I do that most of the times. Like whenever they go aggressive, I just like shatter early. And most of the time, because they want to go aggressive with like a certain ult, their Ryan just doesn't shield as much as he needs to, and he is too late with the shatter block.
Yeah. So as long as you understand the sort of that shatter is a risk reward kind of thing, and that if you're going to use it in your fight plans, you need to incorporate other things. That's basically the main thing to take away from shatter, is that don't just rely on shatter. You have to be thinking about other stuff, right? Okay. So let's actually get into this now. So let's talk about space. How are you going to use ults to manipulate, right? So generally, Brawl, Mirror, most teams kind of come around here onto statue, right? So you want to look for Mail early if you can, but say we have, let's go through. So we'll say we have the window first, right? So if we have window, what can you do as, say, like the defending team here?
I mean, if you see that the enemies are rotating through, like, say, either side of statue, you can window your team.
Yeah. So where would you put the window?
So let's say that. So you really want to be the you really want to have the window to have the widest angle possible, because that way you can deny both cloak points both ways. So,
Yeah, I would place it on like the back where they're standing right now, because if you either place it in the choke, like they can
like
just
that,
rotate
yeah.
around the statue to the other side, and your window's just completely useless.
Yeah,
well, what about trying to use it as a zoning ult, essentially throwing it right side of or left side of statue, forcing them to retreat, and then you can run into them.
I mean, you need to place it so that they cannot speed past it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
also a problem. Is
Yeah.
that they can, if they just play aggressive enough, that's what we do sometimes. Is whenever we are like high health enough, we just speed past it, and then you're like the window's behind you, and you can't really use it. And there goes like a lot of like there goes one ult like into nothing.
So this is fine, right? What space does this impact though? Because that's really what we need to understand here. So what sort of area does this impact?
It depends on the angle. On this angle, it would impact that left side, where the arrow is, where the pink arrow is.
Yeah, it's basically this, right?
Yeah.
Because anything behind here, they can just hide, right? So it's basically, if they're in this space, they should die, okay? So, kill boxes, right? Remember that. So if they're in this space, they should die, okay? Now we have to be aware. Look how close that is to that space. Just be aware that, like you said, they might speed past, right? So that's one option. What else could you do?
Give them space and then window hotel corner.
Yeah, exactly. So what you can do is S. Okay. And then we can look to like window like this, for example. Because where are they going to be if you S?
Yeah, like they're gonna be on point. So,
and where do they hide if they're on point?
either on the corner there of the hotel.
Yep. So
like
here.
on the top.
Yep.
The small car, you can hide if you're like a really small character like Lucio.
Unreliable.
That's what I do. Unreliable. But I've seen people do it, and I do it myself sometimes. And then the only real alternative is like to push so much further that you get to the right side.
Yeah.
Like,
so basically, what we're seeing here is they basically have to leave point.
yes.
Okay. So they either leave point, in which case, congratulations, you've just fucking taken point off them, right? And as a defending team, that's massive because, you know, the thing you're defending isn't the objective, it's the fucking time bank, okay?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that you're actually fighting against. It's the clock, not this. Like, sometimes that becomes a little bit hard to understand. So you're basically forcing them off the point, or what we haven't kind of identified is that they can just basically W into you, right? But if they're going to do that, what does that open you up for? So like fucking Maywalls, right? So if they decide, oh, we need to W, like amp speed W, try and get past the window, you just fucking Maywall them. Okay. So this is kind of the whole crux of Brawl, right? Is using your ults to manipulate space, manipulate what the enemy team is actually going to do. So as long as you understand this, your Brawl will go from good to like fucking amazing. You'll roll every single team that does not understand this, like every single one.
Mm.
So I think this is the hard thing to understand for teams, is that you give them space, and that's the thing that like, your teams are like, what? No, we need to fight. Like, no. Pick and choose your battles, right? Know where to fight where you're strong and they're weak. In this instance, they're weak, you're strong, right? And then even if they just stand on point, 9 times out of 10, these people, they're going to split. Because at this point, it's like, shit, what do we do? And people just act on their own. Very few teams are actually very calm in this situation and coordinate where they're going to go. And if they're split, that means you can capitalize on that. So again, looking at the Maywalls, that sort of stuff. You can have your Cass and your BAP just shooting through the fucking window, just picking off people that are split. You know.
That's actually usually our problem. Like, let's say that we go back and press S and then window. The problem that sometimes we have in my team is that, let's say their Cassidy goes through hotel, and like we're gonna have some people focusing the Cassidy, some people focusing the guys on point. So we kind of need to establish a rule on what to do in those situations.
Well,
Like,
I think you should 2v1 there. Like, either send like your Lucio because you don't need to speed when you window, and your Kree to like 2v1 the Kree. The rest can focus on point. And as soon as you either kill the Kree or push them out of hotel, just return to point and just keep an eye out for the hotel.
Wouldn't it be
this
better
is
to
what
send the diva instead of
this is what I wanted
your
to
own
ask.
cast?
This
You
is
need
what I
DM
wanted to
though.
ask Anti.
Huh?
Like, would you rather focus the guys that are literally in front of your window as if it was a kill box, or would you like more split fire? Let's say Cassidy, Lucio going to counter a flanking Cassidy.
Again, this is one of those where it's very much going to depend on who's actually split off, and like what the situation is. What I would, as a general rule, I would just say, if you see a high value target, go on that. So like if their BAP split off or something, or if their Cass is split off, you know, if their Ryan is split off, you can look to Maywall him and then rush him, you know, that sort of stuff. And even like if their Ryan's just standing there and you can't, you know, say that, you know, they're in the open but they're behind the Ryan shield. You're in fucking window, just spam the shield. Like, that's still a high value target because then they've lost their shield for like the next coming phase, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can just run them over if they have no shield. So in terms of like when to split and blah blah blah, like that sort of stuff, it's gonna depend on what's in front of you. And again, try shit. See what works, see what doesn't. As long as you kind of understand why it didn't work and that sort of stuff. So like if there's like a Mei isolated, you could probably pressure her out, but I wouldn't commit on it unless you know that she doesn't have cooldowns. Obviously, if she has, if you know that she doesn't have cooldowns, then fucking go for it, right? But you know, if she's got cryo freeze, like 2 people go on that, suddenly she just freezes, and then 2 people are now out of position. Might open up an opportunity for the enemy team, right? So that's kind of like the stuff you need to weigh up. Okay, so let's keep this one. So point on this map is kind of the easy one because the unsafest place to be for the attackers is on point. It kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie, because there's no cover at all. If they want to be in cover, they have to get off point, right? So as a defending team, you kind of like need to understand that and you utilize that to your advantage. So I'm going to move to streets phase a little bit here, just so we can get more sort of good examples, right? So where do most teams try and defend here?
First choke.
Yeah,
Archway.
so most teams try to defend here, or here if you've got like shit respawns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's think about this as like, what are your options here, right? So here you've got, so this one here you're defending choke. So what are good options for this defensive position in terms of what do you want to actually do? What ults perhaps would you want to use, or like, you know, what cooldowns, that sort of stuff? Have a guess.
It's obviously very strong, just because the choke is exactly the right size for Mabel.
Yeah, exactly. So Maywall's fucking huge here. So Maywall's absolutely clutch, and you want to be looking for that where possible. What else? What ultimates perhaps are good here?
I mean, sometimes it happens to use a window, but the window, the farther away you are, the better it is.
Yeah, windows better on books up, I think.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to really use window here unless they're like fairly far away, right? So maybe you're like trying to spawn camp them a little bit. That would be like the kind of application for window here. But like you said, you want to be a little bit further away for window. So
I would say maybe shatter.
Shatter is a little risky, I'm not gonna lie. So you have to kind of get into the mindset of a Reinhardt player right now, in that if you're going through choke, he's probably shielding like 90% of the time, right? Because it's risky to walk through there. Obviously, if they're pushing through without the fucking cart being there at the same time, they're dumb. But generally, they're going to be using cart as cover and then using the shield to cover the rest of it, right? And then push through like that. So trying to get Shatter actually in the choke is going to be difficult. Now, that being said, you can look for it with a sort of space manipulation play, is that you can kind of back up slightly, invite them around the choke, and then you can look to sort of surprise Shatter off that. But again, just remember all the stuff we spoke about Shatter. It's that risk reward sort of thing. So I'm glad you're kind of struggling here, because yeah, in terms of actual ultimates that's good here, the only one that's really good is Mail, because the Maywall is so good. The rest of them are, I mean, it's a choke. You don't really need to use ults here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what were you going to say?
I feel like it's very difficult to, like, I feel like holding that corner is easier than winning fights on that corner, if that makes sense, because then able to confirm kills and clean up and all that stuff, you have to like overextend into an area that is very dangerous for the defending team.
Yeah,
that's
so
kind of how I see it.
Remember, on defense, right, the thing you're fighting isn't the team in front of you, it's the clock.
Yeah.
So here, basically, all you're doing is trying to make their phase in here as long as fucking possible. So another thing for, and this applies to like all of Overwatch, right? Not just like Brawl v Brawl Mirror, but on attack, you want the fights to be as quick as possible. On defense, you want the fights to be as long as possible. Why? Because time is the resource that everyone's using. Right. On attack, you want as much time as possible. On defense, you want to take as much time off them as possible. So that's why there's this difference in like how you want the fights to go. Okay, so if you're defending here, using Maywalls to like isolate maybe like one or two people, or just like slow their progress a little bit, that's huge, because you're taking more and more time off them. So in terms of actually defending here, yeah, you really don't necessarily need to use much in the way of ultimates. It's more sort of cooldown rotation and resource management. So managing your shield, managing your DM, that sort of stuff. Basically, survivability is key here. Sustain is key here, because the more you sustain, the more time you take off them, right? So in terms of using ultimates, normally what we want to do space manipulation again. So if they're pushing through the choke and we can't hold them here, you can see they're breaking through. We can just back up. Or, no, I'm not going to suggest it. I don't like going that way. So we can look to back up here. They'll come through, right? Trying to push you, or they can just kind of take up a position here. Then what we can do is now we can look to use our ultimates, right? So again, we can look to use like window on the corner perhaps to impact essentially like that space. Maybe like here. Basically, this is cover, right? So we can window on the corner to impact that space, or because we've spoken about window already, let's talk about some other odds. So if we were defending here, we see they're coming through, so we're going to S. They're going to W into that, right? What could you do now?
Blizzard then.
Yeah, so you could blizzard them. Let's talk about some of the space ults. So let's talk about High Noon and Diva Bomb. What could you do?
You could just high noon them as soon as they are like either not behind payload cover or like a lot of team-ins in the open, because they can't actually push into the high noon. They have to back off, and expecting them that they use speed boost to actually get in. You can now press W yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Look for a Maywall maybe to stop them from actually being able to escape.
Yeah. So the thing that we've kind of identified there is that we're expecting them to use resources to actually walk because they have to, right? If they don't, then they're not going to get anywhere. You can just shoot them for free. So they have to use resources because this path is dangerous for them. It's in the open, right? So by S-ing, you're basically manipulating them to be playing in this area. So by playing in here, this is where they don't want to be because it's not safe. There's no cover here, or no reliable cover anyway. What you can then do is you can look to use things like High Noon. So you can speed High Noon around the corner. Or you can Diva Bomb, and then your Ryan can look for a pin or a shatter or something like that, right? Because once they're in here, there's nowhere they're going. They can't get out of it. Or they can find cover in maybe like Bookshop or around the corner here, and you can just W into them and kill them, right? Because it's not safe for them. And again, they'll likely be split. So again, it's understanding tempo. So you S, you give space to manipulate them, bring them into an area you want them to be, and then like that, you flip the switch and you go on the offensive because they're in that area. Now, the hard thing about this is actually recognizing where those areas are, and also, doing it quick enough so that you don't get punished as well. That's also going to be one of the things. So like, say for example, if you're holding here and they're here, doing this at this point is too late. Because now what you've basically done is then you've now put yourself in this situation, and then they can basically like look for Maywall, look for window, all the stuff that we spoke about already, right? So it's a timing thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So I can appreciate that this is actually kind of difficult to think about because it's not something that many people think about at all, right? Because, everyone just wants to play like all guns blazing. Everyone wants to play like we must fight for every ground. We must hold our ground.
Not give space away.
Yeah. But you have to be smarter than that. You have to always have to be thinking, where are we strong? Where are they weak? If you can bring them into an area where they are weak and you are strong, you're going to win. Okay. So let's spend a little bit of time watching some actual examples. So we spoke about defense a lot, but we're going to be on the attack here. Now the same applies on attack. It's just how you approach the fight is going to be slightly different, because obviously, like I said, you want to make the fights as short as possible. They want to make the fights as long as possible, right? So here we go, doing the fucking plat things, not checking corners and shit, but you know, it's whatever.
Oh, we also played Doomfist, so no worries.
Yeah, so
Busting.
this is the one thing I actually like, right? Because in previous, we would have tried to go in here, because it's like, we're even, oh, we have spawn advantage, yeah, we'll just get the person back, right? But why is it a good idea that we don't go in here?
You're giving away all charge, and because your team
We're
is
low.
low,
Yeah,
and
so
We
we're
don't
they
have
low.
lamp.
didn't.
We don't
Yeah,
have
you're
lamp.
gonna get a bet built earlier, and you can actually take space off them. And like you said at the beginning, it's just you can literally force them off point and take point by just using bet
Yeah.
window.
So it's all about resources. We don't have the resources to engage right now. We don't have lamp and we don't have health balls. So we can't go in. So we just chill. That's a tempo thing. Lufty, were you calling this or was I calling this? I can't
No,
remember.
you were calling. Oh
Okay.
wait.
I think
Yes,
you were calling this
and
one.
I was calling defense. I think.
Yeah.
Or.
Oh
I
no,
can't remember. It was kind of muddled.
Yeah, no, I was calling offense and you called defense, because
Yes.
I was kind of trying to introduce this idea to you guys at the beginning. So I called it on the attack, and then you tried to take over on the defense. So yeah. So does it make sense why this call was made, right? Yeah. We all
yeah.
understand that, yeah, cool.
I would make the same call there, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially losing someone so early.
Yeah, especially because you got also the spot advantage. Like,
Yeah.
look, the Mei's back and the
Days.
Doof's not back yet.
So we get a decent pick here.
Like, ideally,
Okay,
yeah.
so here, this is going to be one of those triggers. 2 people are antied. Fucking S.
Yeah, get out.
Leave. You don't want to be fighting this. Put yourselves into an advantageous position. Get yourselves a strong position, right? High corner here, for example. If they want to rush into you here, easy May wall for you. Right now, we're just in the open, a little bit vulnerable. They are also in a shit position. And look, hey, look at their shield, look at ours. We're winning that battle. So we will win this fight. If we have patience and we just relax right now. So let's see what we do. Okay, we are chilling. It's a little bit odd, but we are chilling. There we go.
I hate them for so much.
Yeah, that was kiting, basically.
Yeah.
Just holding the position.
Exactly.
Normally you do that with NPCs.
So we played a little bit patient there, and we got rewarded for it. Because they tried to W into us, and it was a fucking dumb idea.
Stop the payload.
Okay, I'm gonna say here, idea was right, execution was bad. That's basically what happened here. So I'll let you watch it. There you go. So, what was the mistake there? Did anyone see it?
Too late.
That
Window too late.
Nope.
no, the window's fine.
Nope. Window was
The
fine.
wall. Our wall.
I mean, the wall is scuffed, yeah, but what's the mistake that made us lose this fight?
Not punishing the Reinhardt.
Yeah, but again, it's one of these like patience things. So, Emmy, hello. You saw window. You want a fire strike. If you just shield here, everyone could just shoot this Reinhardt, right? And they have a window in front of them. So a little bit of patience on your part, understanding that you do have people behind you. That Rein dies. It's one of these instinctive things. You see window, you must fire strike. But just assess the situation a little bit. Be like, okay, what happens if I do this right now? And again, this comes down to ult tracking a little bit. I don't know like where we're at with this one. I can't remember, honestly. But, yeah.
Yeah. Like as an example, in our team, Creed sometimes goes like, "Do they have Shatter?" And I know that like my response as the old tracker needs to be correct, because if I say no, they don't have it, then he goes for a fire strike in the window. I get Shatter. That's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe we had an ult tracker during this game.
Okay, so we managed to get a couple of picks, which was fine, but we also staggered ourselves a little bit. We drew the fight out a little bit, which meant that they took more time off of us than they should have, basically. Okay. So let's fucking go. So we're playing like little pussy bitches right now because of the Doomfist.
Meteor strike.
He had ult, that's sad. We're not checking corners again. Feels bad, man. Right. So these are just micro mistakes right now. These are individual errors. I don't really care about that. Huge. Right, we act first, we win. Okay, so we'll go back a little bit. So the way we make this better, though, is Maywall. If we Maywall, like the corner, for example, or like at the edge of the blizzard, we get many more people. So this is kind of like, especially with like actual micro Mayplay. I don't really do micro because I'm not very good at it, but this is one of those things that I can comfortably tell you, if you incorporate Maywall into your blizzards, you'll get so much more value. Because you basically stop them running out the area, right?
I have a question regarding that, because it used to be you would Maywall before in order to avoid... I know that they don't have a diva here, but like, it used to be you would Maywall and then you would blizzard behind it so that they couldn't eat it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
The only problem with that is that you're investing resources into making the ult work, so you can't actually wall them off from backing off from the blizzard. So the blizzards need to be good then, and you can't throw it that far.
Yeah,
like you're limited to the wall.
So this is one of those things where AC's just kind of sat here like, why is Diva a problem for you when you're blizzarding, right? But
no way, we also do that. Sam also does that all the time, like against his wall. So
you gotta throw him under the bus like that. Wow.
I mean, he did it with my 1v1, so fuck him.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that. So for you shot callers out there, if you want to incorporate Blizzard into your plan, I wouldn't say anything else other than that. So this comes back to, so for you guys in Empire, when we spoke about defaults, if your shot caller says, okay, let's look for Blizzard early here this fight, the default here should be to recognize that, okay, we're looking for Blizzard, so we should be impacting the things that can stop that, right? So we should be pressuring the Diva mech and pressuring like the BAP, for example, see if we can get lamp out of them, that sort of stuff, right? So again, this comes back to like, if you understand the default, it makes the comms a lot easier because you don't have to say as much. So here, the call could have been like, okay, we look for Blizzard early here, and then we pressure out the Diva so they can't eat it, right? Blah blah blah. But that's too long. Like in an ideal world, you just want to be like, okay, we just look for Blizzard early here. Off this fight, we'll Blizzard, and you ideally give like a location as well. So like, okay, we'll look for Blizzard early, we'll Blizzard bookshop, right? And that's it. It's on the rest of the team to recognize that that is the plan, and then this is how we should act. This is how we should enable that, right? That's so for us in Empire, that's 100% something we don't do, and you know, that just comes with playtime, really.
Yeah, also like a small micro thing as a main support. As Lucio, you can annoy divas a lot. Like a boop can actually make them miss the
You're such a Chad, Emmy. I fucking love it.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
My Lucio is probably like my weakest hero.
So I like this aggression.
Fed does feeding from time to time. So
no, I mean I appreciate the tip of that. I really do. I love that.
Oh, I fucked my lamp. Feels bad, man. But okay, so the good thing for us there was that they had to invest like fucking all their ults essentially into that fight
Mm.
to actually win that. All right, we invested quite a lot as well, but you know, not as much as them, so it's fine. But let's go through and we'll just talk about it from a macro perspective. So basically, was it our macro that let us down here, or was it micro stuff? So here, window's fine. Maybe could have been a little bit further back, like on the corner.
Yeah, that's in amp distance.
Yeah, but honestly, it's fine. Like, they're in the place. We've set up the thing. You know, we've set up the space that they can't retreat from. So people should die here. The issue for us is... Sorry. We ain't fucking looking for it. So right now, the only person that can actually benefit off this window is me. Because you're over here, you're over here.
And there's
May's here, but you're fucking miles away. Yeah. So the window itself isn't too bad. Like I said, there could be small positional adjustments to that to make it slightly better, but the application is fine here, right? So the mistake on our part is that our positioning's all wrong. Okay, we learnt from a mistake last time. I like this, right? So we fast track through the window, but we recognise that, okay, maybe we slightly recognised, but we knew that they could shatter this time, so we were ready for it, right? So we blocked the shatter, then they grabbed. I fucked my lamp up, so micro.
Yeah, micro.
Zero was shattered, so couldn't eat.
Yeah,
this is like they come in, shatter and nano, and just blocked it with a shield, and then the grab would have gotten blocked by the beats.
So,
and then
so the majority of the mistakes there were micro things, right? So in terms of like macro, not too bad. Okay, I remember this one.
Yeah. We planned for Diva Bomb, but then there were flankers, and yeah.
What tip? Never plan a fight around Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb is the most unreliable ult in the game. And
so we were doing a space play.
Yeah.
So if you go back.
Oh yeah, unless
Not
it's
like-
for space, then it's fine. But not try to win the fight of it.
So
No,
you
we
see
were also
the area where
looking
they're at?
to charge the Rhine, I believe was the call.
Oh yeah, you
So,
can do that.
yeah.
So we're looking to
That's something I would like to
impact this space here with the Diva Bomb. Okay, that was the plan. But
I just don't. That's something that I still haven't completely comprehended, because you were like, that's on me. I don't really know that I can, as a Lucio, unless I frag.
you just
Go and
harass. You
contest
just
the
be annoying
Doom.
as fuck. That's literally all it is, right?
Dude, I swear to God, I hate Lucios that just boot me in back into like the enemy team. That's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I meant there was a Cass and a Doom up there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
I mean, when you're Lucio, your main objective is speed people and harass the enemies as much as you can without die, being the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah. So would I have just like been on the window there and just like?
I mean, yeah, I usually go for windows, just poke them out without dying. Oh, sorry, yeah.
okay, this was on again because that was kind of scuffed as fuck. Alright, so we get a good May wall off here, which is decent. Our bomb could use work. Oh, 2 moves this here. Does what I told you in this scrim make sense? Don't throw your bombs up, throw them diagonally.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see what happened when you throw your bomb up in the air?
The amount of times, like over the past few scrims, I've seen my bomb land on things above people and it doesn't get them. I've been fucking.
Yeah. So with Diva Bomb, you want to aim for an area, not anyone in particular. Aim for space, not people. Because if you start aiming for people, you'll fuck it up.
Okay.
At least it's not Lopsy's bomb on Busan.
We don't talk about that.
I remember that.
It was mecha based and he
did you see
yeeted
that?
it
Oh,
into window.
fuck! I didn't know that's what happened with it. Oh.
Yeah, so do you see, if you'd thrown it diagonally into the space that we were talking about, you might have actually got more value off it. And we should have been a bit smarter here and played a bit... We basically needed to recognize what their options were. So, because they were playing in here when the bomb came off, and then they moved forward to get out of the bomb, right? So we should have S'd, because then we could have impacted that space, right? That was our mistake there. This was kind of like a niche situation where we put them. We basically made them move unintentionally, but this is what happened. We made them move from one shit position to another shit position. So they were playing in here, bad, no cover, to then go and play in here, bad, no cover. We can just Mayroll them, right? We've already got value off the Mayroll, right? But the thing I kind of like here is that they're down. They're having to invest ults to stay in this, basically. I'm so sad you didn't flatten anyone with that. Okay. Cool.
Hello. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Cool. So we should be looking for early window here. That's easy plan. Nice window. Huge fucking stun.
Nice.
Guns near, you're cracked. Right. Yeah, so look how easy that was, right? They're in a position where they can't play, so they have to like back the fuck up. Look, we just get all of this for free now. That's the value here. We got the pick on the Reinhardt as like a fucking bonus, right? But the value here is the space, because we're pushing cart, right? We need space that we can push cart into. Again, you're such a fucking Chad, holy shit. It's unlucky that we didn't get any picks off that. I think people were a little bit disconnected here, but...
No fist. That's Microsoft again. Because to be honest, you did... I would say macro, pretty good. I don't know about the shatter usually, but that really comes down to personal preference. Like, as an example, I know Creed wouldn't have used shatter there.
Showering there was fine, but it was just the...
Yeah. It's personal preference.
Yeah, people didn't recognize that we were doing it. Okay, so there we go. That's one of the things I'm talking about. What the fuck was that? It was like... my fucking bronze diva could have fucking eaten that, you know, like, please. Don't eat males. It's fucking shit. But, okay, recognize that the Ryan's got off here.
There was a ringer, I hope. The May.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no.
Yeah, sure.
He's
new.
a sub player. He's a sub player. He doesn't play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he totally
Okay,
hasn't been
that's
with the team since November.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh.
But he is a sub player. He doesn't play regularly. Plays every now and then.
Okay. I have a nice thing.
Okay, so here is absolutely one of these times where we should be looking to make like a bomb play or a window play. Here, because of where we are, I think it's too late to be making a window play. So at this point, because like they have decent defensive position right now, so we need to manipulate their position better, and you do that better with bomb in this instance, right? So we should be looking for a bomb play here, because window, they can just basically hide from it.
I know what happens here.
What if you were to beat in? Oh no, this position is kind of bad actually. Sorry.
Okay.
Also, they've counter beat.
They don't have beat.
They don't have.
Like, what if you were to beat in if you know that they just used it?
Yeah, we could have done that.
They do have shadow though, so you gotta watch out that.
Fuck's sake, man! Can you stop landing your bombs on the roof?
Oh my god!
Seriously, it's actually impressive that you've done that twice in a row.
I did that in another map as well.
Oh my days! Right, so we went for the play. we went for the play, and we just fucked up on the micro. That's whatever. We should still win this. Never mind. They commit more odds to stay in the fight. At this point, we just need to die though. Okay. So this is the issue right now. Is we're staying alive too long after the fight's lost. There's a fucking hole here. Jump in it. So what are we doing? Window play. Recognize the Rhine. Far too late.
Okay.
What just happened there? You got shattered, then you won.
Yeah, that happens to us as well sometimes. That's the power of
What happens? I lamped it because I saw it coming. It's just the person that could have blocked it didn't see it. Fuck's sake.
That's
Yeah,
fine though, that happens to me all the
There you
time.
go. So this is what
Yeah,
I mean about Shatter being the you either kill everything or you kill your team button. This is prime example of it.
Sometimes I just literally, I'm like, oh, I can do this, and then I literally jump shatter in front of a window and I die.
Yeah. So
Wait, that's
this is.
actually an epic shot. Can you like?
Oh fuck's sake! Yeah, come on then,
Yeah,
hurry
let's
up.
fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Can I criticize that beat? Can I criticize that beat?
Yeah,
Beating
fucking
from
rip
the
her to
heavens, let's
shreds,
go.
please.
I'm sorry. Okay, so the best way there to beat
No,
would
no,
have
no,
been
no. You gotta go. You gotta wall
So
climb as
the
high as you
beat there-
possibly can, and then you scream. You scream Leroy Jenkins as you're falling.
Okay.
No, okay. So the beat there was really good. I don't know where you were hiding. When like how you didn't get shattered.
Well,
It's just on-
probably
just on
walls.
walls. Yeah, I think it's just on
Yeah,
walls.
yeah. Because ideally, when people get shattered, you want to be in a position where you can short beat. You know what
Yes.
short beating is? Like
Yeah.
you have a small ledge there on the right side where your team is. You can just press Q, and the beat animation is gonna make you able to go there. And like that's taking too long. Like if there wasn't a
Absolutely.
lamp there,
Yeah.
your Ryan would have been dead.
Well, I mean, people, you just shoot the falling Lucio. It's like the dumbest thing ever. Like, I should not survive that. I should not have beat it there. Or beat it like that,
I
I should say.
mean, they don't really
Beat it
have
like that.
anything to shoot you down with. Like, look what they have. Reaper. That distance is not gonna kill you. But in a mirror situation, yes.
So what we're saying is,
Nice beat, but
you're welcome.
not.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice
Alright.
beat.
I'm
nice
glad I
beat,
was here.
but my last lamp.
Right.
Yeah, that lamp actually
My
saves
beats
you
that
so
game
hard.
was
there.
terrible. I did another one of those later on defense. I
Yeah,
don't
there
know.
That was a nice
counter
counter
shatter.
shatter as well.
Yeah.
And but
What
you
we'll
just used
say-
3 gold.
Yeah, we committed too much there. I think
You
the
do
high-
have Blizzard though for last fight,
Yeah.
and they only have a nano. And they have nano, and
Nano
so I think that was still fine.
meter.
Yeah.
Especially you're in overtime, so yeah, that's the Black Blizzard.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, wait,
I mean-
no. Wait, hang on. I think
That's
this
just
is
a doom
where
moment.
this
This
is.
is where I said your lamp was on the other side of payload?
No,
Like payload
it
Electric or
bugged.
something like
It bugged.
Let's see.
Because I saw the lamp. I thought I was safe.
Let's see. There. Oh no, it didn't bounce.
Oh.
It bounced off. It bounced off the payload. Yeah,
Oh, damn it.
does it all the time.
Feels
To
bad, man.
be
Oh,
honest,
lucky.
I mean, at least we're in time. Sometimes I'm dying so fast that the lamp just comes like a second too late.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feed so hard.
yeah, me and Tom sometimes are like, wait, you were there already?
Yeah.
Okay, but considering we're doing like new things there, not too bad.
Yeah, and
So,
you're
like-
also not playing against Mirror, which is
Yeah.
like an added difficulty. Because like they're playing Zarya Doomfist, they're looking to play really aggressive.
I mean, they're playing it really shit. I don't think I've seen
Yeah.
Doom getting bubbled once, but
Yeah,
we ignore that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we're not giving them a reason to bubble their Doomfist. Like they can save the bubble for something else because we're not really punishing the Doom in the way that would necessitate a
Well,
bubble.
I mean, he only got something done last fight.
Yeah, he.
And when he flanked, so it was not that he was doing a lot there too. So.
Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we do here. So interesting, Maywall. But here we've already won. We don't need to do anything. We just chill. That's fine.
Yeah, we would have called go.
Yeah, we would have
We would have rushed after them, like back to spawn.
Yeah, if you'd still had your Maywall, then fucking Wing there would have been fine, but we'd Maywalled and we'd lamped if we'd W'd into that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it would
You
have been-
lamped, okay, then we shouldn't have done it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
think
thought
we
you
won
said
this
lamp.
fight. We won this fight somehow.
Yeah, we did.
think. Yeah. Oh, because we pulled.
Yes. Because I was like, back the fuck up, we're down. Just back, 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 back. Look, we're going backwards. We're in shit position, but we're going backwards.
Oh, that was a nice flash on the Ryan.
That's the best mini diva you'll ever see.
Right. Okay, so we'll go into that one. Do we understand why Tempo there basically just carried us?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we lost our Ryan, that's the main thing, right? Remember, Ryan is the fucking gateway to the rest of your team in this comp, right? I know we're 1 up right now, they have spawn advantage, we lost our Ryan, he's basically the guardian. We need to chill and try and stabilize
Also, they have
a
an
bit here.
Ana, so there's no lamp.
Yeah. They've had an Ana all game, I don't know why.
They're still in 2018, I guess.
Someone told them to play that comp, but they're not playing it properly, so...
Yeah, maybe.
So, getting value off the wall here.
Yeah. Interesting now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that fight... Yeah, that's good, actually.
Look at the Ults, by the way. They only, like, your 3 fights, you have 1. And they're only up to Nano.
Okay.
I know almost Shatter, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I'm calling that we S here so I can window and we just don't do
yeah?
it. Yeah, see, we were too slow. That was the issue there.
I was calling defense.
Can you play it back again? Real quick, sorry, because I want to see something. Oh, wait. No, because I think it might have worked even where you were, just if you windowed a bit earlier.
Yeah, that's
So-
what he said.
This is what my issue was, is that half the team backed, so like 3 people went here, or like 4 people, and like the other half just stayed here. So we all needed to have done the S play. Window like here or here, and then gone off that. But because we were in 2 mindsets, it meant that things were weird. Yeah, the window could have been like slightly earlier, but
Like here
like
now. Yeah.
so here, Ryan May stayed in too long, and it made things difficult.
Yeah, and this was the prime example of bashing past
Wait, I have a question. You wanted us to go Archer? Because by backing, I thought we are going Hotel at that point.
No, you
That's
play.
why
So,
I was there.
so you go back here, debate them into this area, right? And then you just window here. Sorry, let me make that a bit clearer.
Because otherwise they
And
will
then you
back off.
window here so
Then
that they
we-
can't get out of it, right?
Yeah, but then like it's back. I feel like it's the hotel is the back, and like that is yeah. I got it wrong.
Okay,
completely.
so I'll sort this in your head, right? So you're here. Let me get into your POV. Oh god.
No, I get it now.
Yeah,
I just,
no. But this is a comms issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what direction is back here? And where's hotel?
No, because like normally there is the 1 point if you go more forward. There is the 1 corner here and 1 corner there on the point. And I feel like back is the our point and forward is their point.
Yeah. So you're talking about this situation, right?
Yeah.
But we're already here. So back here would be here. Why? Because it's like literally back. Hotel is from your POV, right? I mean, you just call hotel, but like you see, you're going sideways. You're not going back.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah,
call we would
I
do.
just didn't get done.
The call we would do to avoid this sort of stuff is just a vague give space. Give them space, give them space.
Yeah, if I actually played, it would be push or pull, but I ain't in the team, so you guys fucking come up with your own words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Objective lost.
Oh, you tried to recontest there. Ah.
Yeah. Again, caught in two minds.
Yeah, because there ideally you should have contested the first point. Oh, but that's not
Cool.
bad either.
So for context for you AC guys, this is the first time we scrimmed 3k.
Oh, okay.
So everyone here is the team SR average is about 2.6.
Nice. Yeah, here's just old stiff.
I think me and Nopix actually pulled the team average up now since we both grinded.
We're probably like 2.8, 2.7 now.
No, you're not even close to 2.8. Believe me,
Oh, yeah.
I have spreadsheets and everything. Okay, so here, what are we doing? Are we Wing or are we S'ing? What we don't want to be doing is standing still. And that's exactly what we did. So, how'd you get over here?
Listen, it's a great question. I ask myself these things all the time.
Okay.
Just vibing
I
on
don't know what
the
I'm doing most of the time. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
I believe someone had tried to get up there before, so I was trying to contest that.
So where's our Cass?
I believe respawning.
Did he die trying
I
to
believe he's
recontest, or
respawning.
was?
Oh, he's
No.
there.
Oh no, okay.
Oh, he's
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Shit.
So, this is one of the bad habits we have. Basically, the only person playing natural cover right now is me. You're in the open. You're in the open. You're in the open. I don't really
You're taking an off angle when you shouldn't.
Yeah, like
We're not in the open, but we're stupid.
the idea isn't that bad. It's just the application of it is a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, need to be playing natural cover. So this is what I mean. Are we Wing? Because we should be playing corners here. So what we spoke about earlier, like remember, these are the areas you don't want to be playing in because it makes life fucking easy for their team, right? So here is fine right now because they're here. Yeah. So what if they're here, we don't want to be playing here. So we either want to be playing here or we go into them because they're in the shit place. And normally we do that with an ultimate. So we could have Diva bombed here, for example. Could have Diva bombed, gone W. Or if we didn't want to do that, we just want to take more time off them, then we can just back, bring them into this area and then do it, that sort of thing.
There you could have also, say, beaten so that you could have had the DM for the Blossom that it's upcoming, but that's like advanced stuff.
Better than the deep. So.
That's actually really interesting. Using beat when you know that they have ults that we're trying to eat. Like not only Blossom, but like Grav, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or sometimes if you know that you're in deficit, you might as well lose a fight. There you could have won that.
Yeah, just to farm it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it's also the place where we are having a lot.
You got so
yeah.
fucking lucky there. Oh my god, I didn't see that.
I'm built different.
You got so fucking bruh, I swear to god. Get in the practice range and just fucking bomb over and over again. I swear to god.
Create a Diva bomb. Dude, I should actually make it.
Right, so let's see where you wanted the Diva bomb to go, and let's see where it actually went up. There, Lucio boots you, bro. Okay, but there we go. We've finally done one. Fucking huge. The sad thing is, you killed 5. Kill 2 next time, and then we can drag the fight out longer. Fuck you.
Well, no, listen. Yeah, my bomb would have had that effect if their Lucio did boot.
Oh yeah, okay. So basically, their Lucio
That's
made
true.
a micro. Okay, yeah, fine. They made a micro mistake. My bad. You played that perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. I think this was the day my Diva was like extra shit. Like
no comment.
Yeah, no, literally. Earlier in this map, I was like, usually you know how I go on top of the statue. I just didn't want to do that because I didn't want I didn't want you shouting at me.
So, here we have two plays which involve basically space. We have window, which we could window this corner early when they're walking up, or we could give space, let them in to where the cart is, and then we could speed high noon on them. So basically both ults revolve around manipulating space. I'm pretty sure we wanted to window early because we had window, we had nothing else, right? You know, we have noon, but we can build other ults, is what I'm saying. I think,
you're close to Blizzard.
yeah, I think that's what the intention was here. There we go.
Window.
Calling doing boilers.
I don't know why Ryan's like you didn't drop your shield once, and I still thought that it was a good idea to shatter there. I don't know why people have that idea. Like it happened even in our scrims where I'm not like dropping my shield once, and they just rescue and I'm like, okay, I blocked, I guess.
I dropped it for a second.
Oh, you dropped it?
On
Okay.
purpose there, yeah.
Oh, debate.
She's just fucking
Debate.
built different.
Built
Mental
different.
games.
Okay, so I don't know what the fuck happened there, because that should have been like the world's easiest fight after we killed the Reinhardt. But it was a really long fight, so it worked out. But we did have to use noon, but the good thing is we have Blizzard now, so it should be easy fight win from here. They have fuck all.
Here you want the fight to end quickly because they can build up to ultimates though. Because...
But they're still close. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you have
no.
your Blizzard.
Okay.
I fucked up so bad.
Oh yes, I remember, and I
Oh, yeah.
fucking raged at you so hard for this. Holy shit.
I thought I will get the right one.
So
I mean,
basically,
we've talked about the charges. We've talked about it.
basically we said we're in a too good position right now. Here you go, have a fucking team fight win. Let's make things a little bit difficult for ourselves, you know, because that was too easy.
Like, so we proved that we can play macro. Let's prove that we cannot win micro.
Fuck's sake! And again, man, like this is the sort of shit that we need to sort out. Like,
I mean, we believe in Gungnir, but now he's feeding a little.
this is unexcusable. We did it up here as well. You don't stand in the fucking open, especially for regrouping. Now
Especially
it's like
this joke is really good to defend in.
yeah. Now it's like
This
another
version.
10-15 seconds for us.
I think we
Yeah, you
stagger
gotta
more,
back
and
off
then
here
we get
because you
pushed
don't have your
back, and then I do like another heroic beat.
Heroic beat.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the sound of that. I mean, also remember that beat can travel in all directions. So you can
No,
also
because we
put
get
it in the
pushed
high
back
ground.
here, and I get split off because I kite poorly, and then.
Oh my god!
Yep.
God!
What?
Can I see it again? I'm sorry, Anton. What
You
was
beat it?
that?
You beat it and
Remember, I hit Q, and you were watching me, Auntie, and I remember you going, "Oh no!" As I was dropping, I was like, "Oh shit, I fucked up."
Okay, so wait.
You like beating from the skybox, I've noticed. Like, fuck me.
Devil are lucky that you literally beat it in the Rhine charge.
That's why I said I had really bad beat on defense as well. Oh, that was what I was talking about. God, I played so
Also,
poorly.
like, yeah.
Again,
As a tip I can give you. A tip I can give you is if you're on high ground,
Yeah.
what you can do is you can beat on the high ground, and then as soon as you beat it, you can drop down, because the beat animation, like you can give the beat shield slightly later than the beat animation. It's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, like peeking corners and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you can do the same falling down from high grounds.
Oh, that's why I'm not getting beat half of the time.
No, you're not getting beat
just
half
kidding,
of the
just
time because you're pressing W too
Oh,
hard.
because I'm already in spawn.
And you're
respawn.
sandwiched between two males.
Feels bad.
That's true.
I'm gonna be like half of the beats being so actually horrible was because I'm trying to learn the counter beating and stuff like that. So my timing is just like absolute ass on it. I'll get there eventually. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we spoke about basically just introducing this idea. We've watched a little bit of the VODs to see what we could have done differently. Obviously, not the best VOD because it's not a mirror, but welcome to Plat Lobbies. Fucking feels bad, man. So, do we understand what the application is of this stuff?
This happened on attack too.
Huh?
Where the Doom kills too.
Oh, this is attack. It's in the middle. I just I went back just so I could see the map.
Okay, yeah. I'm tired, so I was like, what? Again.
Yeah, no. Right, so do we get the idea of like what you're trying to achieve and like what the thought process is? Yeah. Do we understand the ults a little bit better, like how we can use them? Yeah. So I think on the defense there was like prime example of just micro mistakes and then panicking because they're steamrolling and then just forgetting about everything we literally just done. Because our attack was not actually that bad, considering that you basically got like a 2-minute crash course in it, like before the round. So like it was fine. Thanks, Harry. For fuck's sake.
Thank you.
Right. So yeah, but because on the attack we kind of like stuck to the process, you know, we're gonna fuck up the execution, right? We've not worked on it before, but we were trying it, and that was the main thing. On the defense there, we just stopped trying it like after a second point. Okay, so does it make sense? Yeah. Okay, so obviously we've looked at King's Row, but there's going to be other maps where you're going to play Brawl Mirrors, like Mecha Base. Sometimes you get Brawl Mirrors. Lijiang, Control Center. You have Sim Junk. Same thing applies.
I would actually be curious to go over like a sim brawl because I feel like it's played slightly different.
Yeah, you're playing a
considering that
lot
we
more
have the-
slower and for the damage from the sim beam. And
But at the
you're
same time, you're
focusing more
playing
shield.
very like explosive because you have that potential to cross such a high distance with like teleporters and stuff.
Yeah, normally you don't. You only get them out of spawn, but the only way I think it's never you never use it in a mirror because you always want to be close to each other. You could do that in a like when they play ball or dive, just put a teleport on their supports. But I think in a mirror it almost never happens where you want to teleport towards them.
Unless you like plan on making plays like
Yeah, like
strategically.
flank shatter, that kind of stuff. Like teleport through the, but like you normally only teleport out of spawn, and that's where you use it for.
Yeah, so Sim Brawl, so all the stuff we spoke about is unanimous with all the brawls essentially, right? And the only time you wouldn't be playing with a Mei is in that Sim Junk variant, which is on that one map. You don't see that on any other map apart from Control Center, right? But even with the Sim Junk variant, the same thing still applies. So we can talk about Sim Ult for a little bit. So what do you think Sim Ult, like where would that fit into the brawl? So obviously you replace your CAS for your Sim and keep the rest the same. So does it do the same thing as the CAS ult, or what's the application of it?
Similar? Like
It's like you try to
spacing.
split them, no?
I think it's more just spacing.
Yeah, you can divide space.
Yeah, that's the main thing to take away from the Sim Ult, is that you can use it to divide space. So Swiffle, are we here? There we are.
Yeah, what's up?
Symbols, use it to divide space. Does it make sense now why I'm telling you to symbol points diagonally instead of like vertically and horizontally? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not only does that enable you to play a slightly more aggressive, because you're going to be denying resources off them. It's basically if they want to walk into your space, they're going to be cut off from their healing. They're going to be cut off from like their damage, unless their damage also walks into your space. But then you can counteract that with things like, you know, Mei wall, booping people, that sort of stuff, right? And ults as well.
Like if you're symboling, they have to pick a side. You really don't have to. That's the key difference.
You can also juggle between it, like your Winston shield, like just because what we did last time is we knew that they were gonna come in, so we just split the point up and we played on the left side, and we could brawl on the left side, and they couldn't actually hit us on the other side.
So it's a massive shield.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So in terms of like what the symbol is useful, it's another space ult. Basically, majority of the ults in Brawl are space ults. Why? Because that's the thing that Brawl struggles with the most.
Then why do I have in mind that sim ults are like sustain ults?
You can use it for sustain as well, but you have to understand why it's sustaining you, and it's sustaining you because it's making you stronger in that space. So it's basically fortifying your position. It's giving you a place of cover, and that's why it's sustaining you.
Most of the times you will also not have it. Like after maybe second, maybe third fight. So either you lose and you most of the time use it on the attack, or you use it to re-engage because the enemy used like 3 or 4 ults to actually get the point on control. Mostly how it goes. So yeah, it's really hard to actually use it like the sim ult as an attacking ult on defense on some maps.
Right.
And you kind of... It's kind of like a spatial beat in that sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, you could say that, like, because as Rhine, you don't have to worry about your shield just getting burned. So you can literally just walk up to them, and because the rest of your team has to stay behind your shield, because if they walk in front of it, they will just die. You can move a lot faster than normally with the speed boost.
Okay. So yeah, so sim fits nicely into Brawl, and honestly, I think nowadays sim Brawl's just better than cash Brawl.
I think it's map dependent. Where you can play sim, yes, absolutely.
Sim Brawl is just very, very flexible, and basically in this era of Overwatch, flexibility beats everything. This is why Double Shield and Ball Comp are like really, really good, because they're very, very flexible. So yeah, if you can incorporate more flexibility into your comps, you're going to have a stronger time. So why does Sim make Brawl a bit more flexible? It basically negates their weakness a little bit because they can reach places a lot easier that normally they'd have a really hard time getting to. So like as an example on this map, if you're holding here and then they do the top rotation like this, you can just Sim TP up here and then look to go on that. If you weren't playing the sim, you wouldn't be able to do that, and you'd have to do something else, right? So you'd normally like have to like kite the rotation or something like that, or like back through hotel, that sort of stuff. Yeah. But with sim, it just enables other options that just the normal cash ball wouldn't allow you to do.
To be honest, now that I think about it, guys, we actually do play the same on attack. We also play the Bastion, but that's a side effect.
Oh shit, can I join you guys?
I fucking wish you hadn't told them that.
Let's go.
Don't imitate us. It takes a lot of time.
No, you don't understand.
And you need to no, to be honest, like actually jokes aside, the reason why we make it work is because we do understand generally how a normal brawl is meant to work.
The Bastion.
Yeah, and what we try to do is like, okay, so they're gonna want to do that. We're not gonna allow them to do that because we're gonna put a Bastion there. That's the
Bastion.
key.
The Bastion is not even for killing people; it's controlling space.
Yeah.
Because you put the Bastion up there, they can't actually push into you, and they have to go off the point because otherwise they will just burn down. Which means that you have a free passage to the point, and you like put them in a place where they have to attack you into a Bastion, which is almost impossible as Brawl. And that's why that's how it works. You're not like the Bastion is in first, not for kills.
So the thing is, don't use it unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah, me and Nopix are Sim Bastion experts. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're not doing it.
God damn it.
See, there's two different mentalities going on here. There's the AC mentality that's like, don't use it unless you know what you're doing with it, which is like true, but unfortunately at this rank it will fucking work because people are Papega.
At our rank, they're also Papega, which is a sad part.
I mean, true, but you know, it's even more applicable. Oh, yeah, just
It's that poor Genji god just.
I mean,
It worked 5 times against Yoinkers, literally.
Yeah.
And then last time, like, we knew that they were gonna play aggressive, so we were like, okay, this time we're not gonna play the best team, we're gonna play a Mei instead. So they're gonna go aggressive and we'll just wall them off. And Micah after that said that they were so upset because they scouted for us on the Sigma and the Sim. And then we came out on a Mei and just rolled them over with that.
Yeah. But by the way, there's somewhere I should have saved a video of me that they had a Genji that was 100% convinced I had beat and wanted to kill me for the Nanoblade, and I just started running away. Like, literally took him 6 seconds to kill me, and I made him go on the other side of the map. So yes. Running away works.
Whoa, Sam, what's that mails? Sorry, I'm watching him stream and I don't know what he was doing there. Sorry, that was my fault. What was that?
No, yes, like, to be honest, Symmetra, to go back like to the main topic, Symmetra, yes. I think it's harder to play. Like Cassidy's as an easier character to play. So I'd say, like, if you don't know what you're doing, still play McCree, Cassidy, whatever you want to call him. And then when you get it, you can start playing some variations. But first, get good at Brawl.
I think the way I like to see it is like some maps are easier to get value with the sim. Like I'm thinking of Lijiang specifically. So running the variant of it there, you know.
The problem with Sim is like you have to there are different playstyles. The Sim, you have to charge up the beam first.
Yes.
The beam is not gonna do damage like at the first. So you actually have to extend the fight. You don't want to go in hard and win the fight quick. You want to extend it as long. And that's why it doesn't work on attack. It's because if the enemy on defense just run into you, then your fight is not gonna get long. And you will just get overrun before you get that Sim beam up. And that's why on control, most of the time you're waiting a bit to see what the enemy's gonna do, like try to get a wall in. So that's why Sim is mostly played on control. And the way like the Sim teleporter is really useful.
Yeah, from spawn,
yeah. And especially on control too, the Sim wall is also really good. Because there's one center point and not like a payload which can move. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. Last chance for anyone to say this doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense? Playing Brawl? Playing Brawl in 2022?
What we've spoken about.
What were we talking about?
So basically, you want to get your Reinhardt to dive the Ana, and you'll be all right.
Easy.
Yeah,
you could do that here though. Go like on the top of the spawn and charge down.
No. Okay, I'm ending.
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking ending recording.
No, you
no chatting Reinhardt.